Was featured in the New York Times. She's a Huffington Post contributor, and she's just back from the Boston Comedy Festival. Kendra Cunningham.
Hi. Thank you so much, you guys. This is so nice, a show for women, right? Yes. It's really nice. A lot of times when I go to these shows, like, I end up being the only girl, you know what I mean? And it's gotten to the point that every time I go, my mother's like, are you going to be the only girl? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, for Christ's sake, be careful. And I'm like, be careful. Like, when's the last time you saw a headline, female comic lured into group grope with the promise of stage time? It just doesn't happen. She's like, make all the jokes you want. Those male comics, they drink, they do drugs. It makes them very horny. I'm like, Mom, get to know me. You're not scaring me. You're enticing me now. Now I want to go to the show. You couldn't keep me home if you tried. But I did. I got a little gussied up for you guys tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Normally I'm in like a baseball cap and a hoodie, very layered, you know. It's almost like I'm dressed for a defensive game of strip poker, if anybody was to ever take me up on my challenges. But my mother's been on me. My mother's like, you don't dress like a woman who wants to meet a man. When you go out on a Friday night, wear a dress. It'll make people wonder. They'll think you're going to a dance or something. I'm like, that might have worked 40 years ago when Shana and I was still together. But nowadays, if I'm in a dress on my way to a dance on a Friday night, I'm probably going to a church basement for an AA mixer. Not so intriguing, really. But I feel bad for my mother. I feel like she's pretty much given up hope on me getting married, you know. She used to always say to me, you know what, Kendra, there's someone out there for everyone. And now she's always like, you know what, Kendra, there's a lot of single mothers out there. She just wants me to have those babies. But I do like to go home and visit my mother back in Boston. She's a little bit of a nut job, though. I wish I could say that I missed her, but she calls me like 15 times a day. And the other day she got me and she said, can you hear me? And I was like, yeah. And I said, why are you whispering? And she's like, I'm at work and the toilet overflowed. I'm like, yeah, and why do you have to whisper about it? She's like, I flushed my peach pit down the toilet. Like, why would you do that, Mom? She's like, I was on the toilet eating a peach. Like, I go, and I immediately go into, like, criminal confession mode. I'm like, did you tell anyone else about this? We're going to pin it on the intern. She can get another internship, but you're not going to be able to get a new job. Every time I go home, my mother likes to take me on these memory lane drive-bys, and they always start off very warm and inviting, and by the end, they're like morose and frightening, you know? And they always start with the parish. She's like, oh, you remember the parish, don't you? Nice memories there. You were baptized, confirmed. Oh, and here's the high school. Remember you got drunk and you knocked your front tooth out? You made your mother cry? Do you remember how you made your mother cry? And then it goes on to have, like, something that has nothing to do with me. She's like, remember that guy got murdered over here? They never found his torso? You and your sister were out late that night, but I didn't ask any questions. She's fun, though. We went to Montreal together recently. They have a lot of sex shops in Montreal. I didn't know that. I wish I had. I certainly would have packed a lot differently. But when we were leaving, my mother said to me, next time we come, I want to go to one of those sex shops. And I was like, well, why didn't you just go over here? And she was like, I didn't have enough time. I'm like, how much time do you need in a sex shop, really? You know, I don't think I've ever been in a sex shop for more than 5 minutes of my life before I'm like, crap, somebody could actually see me here. If something goes down in Mindy's dildo shop, I could be considered a witness, you know, or a suspect for that matter. Let me get the hell out of here. But she was like, that's exactly why I didn't want to go with you. You would have rushed me. I'm like, I guess that is the last thing you want to hear in a sex shop. It's like, come on, Mom, let's go. You already have that one in pink. I was never really like a sex toy girl, you know, and then for my 30th birthday, I got like half a dozen, and everybody was like, it's a gag gift, and I was like, how does it work? And then I disappeared for 2 weeks. I wish that was a joke. You guys have had a lot of fun. My name's Kendra Cunningham. Enjoy the rest of the show. Kendra Cunningham! I told you you would love her, and you are going to